Hello everyone, my name is Jasmine and welcome to my channel. This is a video that I'm very excited about because tomorrow is Halloween. It is sadly the end of spooky season for most people, but for me it's always spooky season in my heart. So here are some ideas of what you can do for spooky season, and it's 7 ideas. Some of them are non-scary, family friendly, for the scaredy cats out there who don't want to do anything spooky or scary. And then other ones, we're going to build up to it. The other ones near closer to the end are going to be scary, thrilling, raising the hair on your arms type of activities. So that's just because not everyone, I understand, not everyone likes being scared or likes that element of horror. But Halloween's for everyone. Everyone can have a fun time. So the first thing that people can do is you can watch a scary movie. And when I say scary movie, that means the Halloween classics. So that's things like The Nightmare Before Christmas, Hocus Pocus, any one of the movies that Disney would put on during Spooktober. So My Babysitter's a Vampire, Twitches. Also, I did make a video previously, animated movies that people could watch for Friday the 13th, because we had a Friday the 13th last year. I like that video. You should definitely go watch that. If you need any suggestions of light, family-friendly, animated, scary movies that you can watch for Halloween. And another thing is, many cartoons actually have a Halloween episode, or at least a scary episode. So The Amazing World of Gumball has one, Teen Titans has one. One that's actually really scary though, it's got some heavy elements, is The Puppet Master from Avatar: The Last Airbender. You could do a whole video on how that episode really was too scary for children. But anyway, you can watch a nice, light, scary movie to celebrate Halloween. Another thing that you could do is you could decorate your house, home, your yard, your patio, whatever you want. And it doesn't have to be anything big. Just go to Target, go to Party City, get some cobwebs, get some pumpkins. They don't have to be real. They can be fake. Or you can just dust off the one that's in your garage. You can get some spooky, scary skeletons, and you can just set them out in there. Almost kind of like a pregame for, Christmas holiday lights. So you could do that. Or if hopefully you're not like this man. I was reading something, because I do follow a lot of Halloween horror news type Instagrams, especially around spooky season, and especially around Halloween. But there was this man apparently that had set up such a disturbing and realistic scene in his front yard that his neighbors were calling the police, saying that they think it's real and that they want his decorations to be removed. And quite honestly, they are good decorations. They do look like a scene that you would see at the end of a nice horror movie. But yeah, those neighbors were cutting in on the fun. But you can put out the nice, happy little suburban fall type decorations for Halloween. Speaking of those pumpkins, another thing that you can do is you can go to a pumpkin patch, an apple orchard, any kind of farm basically on Halloween. And that just has hundreds of options for you to choose. So you can decide first and foremost what kind of crop, I guess, you want to be picking. You might want to pick pumpkins, that way you can carve them. You might want to pick apples, that way you can make apple cider. But either way, that's another thing to add on to your fun. And then even when you get to the farm, typically there's going to be a petting zoo, so you can pet the goats, the chickens, all that kind of stuff. A tractor ride, those are nice. And a maze, don't get lost. Not a good idea. If you see any children in the corn maze, don't talk to them. But those are some of the things that you could expect if you went to a farm for Halloween. And yeah, they just have so many things going on. Also, typically, every time that I've gone to any kind of farm during the winter season, they always make it an option for people to dress up, for them to be trick-or-treating. Which leads to the fourth thing that you can do to celebrate Halloween is you can go trick-or-treating. And yes, we are in a pandemic. With all of these options, especially the farm one, wear a mask. That's a good idea. It protects you and everyone around you. And this is, you might be thinking like, oh, I don't want to have to wear a mask with my costume. It's okay. We get it. We understand that we're living in a pandemic, and honestly, if any like little child dressed up in an Elsa costume with like an Elsa mask came up, I would still be just as excited. I know she's Elsa. That's all that matters. Or, since we need masks, this is the perfect time for like a couple of different fandoms. Like the Star Wars fandom, you got so many characters that wear masks. You got Asajj Ventress, you got General Grievous, you got Darth Vader, all of them wearing masks. And or even just the Mandalorians in general. You also got Marvel and DC characters, a bunch of them wear masks. And yeah, so many different costumes already require / have the character wearing a mask. So if you were to be one of those characters, we wouldn't even notice that you're wearing a mask. You're just being your character. So those are all of the nice, fluffy, sweet things that you can do for Halloween. And we're going to transition to the hard-hitting, the big things for celebrating Halloween. The first thing that you can do is you can watch a real scary movie. I'm talking blood, I'm talking possession, I'm talking like, things that make you go like that when you are in the movie theater. And there's a lot of good movies out. So there's Malignant. I loved Malignant. I don't understand why some people didn't like that movie, because myself, my mom doesn't like horror movies, but she loved this one. And my dad, and he said that was just original. That the only way I can describe that was just original, because they took it on you were on a ride. Granted, my family was able to, and by my family, I mean me, I was able to piece together what the twist was probably 10 minutes before it happened, but still, great movie. And then there's also Halloween Kills. So if you want to see Michael Myers kill some more stupid townspeople, because if you see this man walking up to you with a knife, why are you just not going to do anything? Even in the trailer, the little kid says, there's some creepy guy with a knife that's following us. Just because it's Halloween does not mean that we forget stranger danger. And then there's also the movie Antlers. And then there's also the movie Lamb. So we got a lot of horror movies you can watch. But go out, get scared, sit in a dark theater and listen to the side comments of other people saying, oh no, girl, that's a bad idea. Boy, you better run. So going to the theaters for a horror movie always lightens it at least a little bit. The next thing that you could do is you could go to a haunted location. And you might be sitting there going, why would I do that? I would never do that. That is asking for bad things to happen to you. Well, I kind of get it, kind of don't. That's why I put this one as the middle scary thing that you can do. Because I would never, in all my years, if someone's like, oh yeah, there's this abandoned insane asylum 3 miles into the woods, and it used to run in the 60s, and the warden was such a terrible person. She would put needles in the shoes of children. Like, if like that kind of thing, and you're asking me to go there on Halloween night, I'd be like, Heck no, we're not doing that. I'm not going to an abandoned asylum in the middle of the woods, because that is the start of a horror movie. But at the same time, at least if you've lived in the Northeast, you've probably been to a place like Salem, Massachusetts. That's something that we just don't question when we're in middle school and they take us there for a field trip. We're literally going to a place where people said, she's a witch. And then they just hung people. And they did that to 20, 30 people. Like, we're just going to this place saying, oh, cool. Learning about Wiccan history, learning about the Protestant, whatever, and how that fits into the history. And it's just like, we are literally going to a place where humans were just calling out others for imaginary, hysteria-induced, just accusations. And we just do that without question for a field trip. But you know what? You can go on something like that, and the only way I would ever go to a haunted location is if it has some sort of tour or like organization associated with it, because that at least means that we as humans, as a society, have come to terms with what happened here was bad, and we are now going to tell the story, the history of what really happened. That way there can be some rest for the people who whose lives perished because of others. So that is the only way I would go to a haunted location. But if you are strong enough, i.e. stupid enough, to go to some haunted location that has not seen the light of day in 50 years, that has laid abandoned, that's on you. That's on you. That's not going to be me. And then another thing you can do, the final thing that you can do, this is something that I would suggest to anyone, especially if you are a scaredy cat, because it'll get you out of your comfort zone. You should go to a haunted house. And when I say a haunted house, I mean like a thrill park, manufactured scares, actors, all those kinds of things. I went to 3 of them with people that I go to work with, and it was just such a nice experience, because I love horror movies, and I'm going there saying like, oh, I see this, I see that, and like being able to kind of sense where the horror and the jump scares are going to go. And then I'm also being like, oh, that's really nice prosthetic work. That's really nice animatronics. While I'm there with someone who is like, ah, and I'm just kind of there to calm her down, telling her she's doing a good job. So you should definitely go to one. And because it's Halloween, they're definitely going to have big lines, so go early. But also, since it's Halloween, they might be having blackouts where they turn out all the lights and they give you a flashlight. If you're a scaredy cat, that's probably not what you want to start with. But definitely go to a haunted house, have some fun, have some screams, live on the edge, and yeah, those are some of my ideas for how you can celebrate Halloween. And if you have any other ideas, any movie recommendations, whether they're scary or actually scary, put them in the comments. And yeah, enjoy Halloween, everyone. Bye.